Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. Today we will be visiting St. George CSI Church, which is located in Pallikkunnu. So first of all, let me give you a brief introduction about this Pallikkunnu. Pallikkunnu is a place located next to Kuttikalam on the way to Ellapara. So this church was built in 1869 by the British people, and St. George was the patron saint of this church. This church was built during the era of Maharani Sethu Lakshmi Bai of Travancore Kingdom, and she was the one who donated 15 acres and 62 cents of land for this church. The church was basically built by the British people who were the pioneers in planting tea estates in this land. As you can see, the church is ancient and it's nearly 200 years old. The specialty of this church is that we can see a horse is buried among the foreigners in this church compound. As you can see, when we enter, we can see a Victorian era church. The church is still preserved in that manner using wood and timbers, and the architecture is completely preserved in an intact manner. You can see on the top of the church a stained glass depicting Alpha and Omega symbols in Greek language, which completely depicts the beginning and the end of God, which means the God says, I am the beginning and the end. So you can see the furnitures are ancient and British era. And another thing which I want to tell you is that when you see the church is covered with bronze plaques depicting the memorials of many British citizens who are buried in this church. And you can see a small Tudor rose. This is a particular English architecture style which was meant for during the Tudor and Victorian times. So as we get out of this church, you can see a small baptismal font on the bottom of the screen. This is the place where British babies were baptized, and now it is used to baptize the Indian babies. So as we walk out of the cemetery, as we walk out of the church, we can see a cemetery containing 32 tombs of foreigners who died here in this land. And most of the foreigners belong to the Scottish Highlands, and you can see many of the tombs are in a dilapidated state, and it is very beautiful to see those places. So as we climb up to the stairs, we can see that the path is narrow, and we are going to the tomb of John Daniel Munro, or known as J.D. Munro. So you can see the crosses of these tombs are basically Celtic in architecture. The Celtic cross are basically a type of cross used in the British era during the Scottish times. And this is the tomb of Downey, a white horse owned by J.D. Munro. So it was an accident that happened to J.D. Munro that killed him. So as he was so close towards the horse, as it was his favorite pet, the Britishers asked the parishioners to bury the head of the horse along with the body of Mr. J.D. Munro. As you can see, this is a tomb which is actually a memorial for J.D. Munro. And yes, this is a beautiful, you can see the intact details and written as John Daniel Munro died in February. And this is a peculiar small tomb for a baby known as Bridget. You can see there are poems written on both sides of this peculiar tomb. My Lord has a need for the flowers, which actually depicts the untimely death of baby Bridget from her family. I guess she was a very loud one. And yes, you can see the tomb of Bridget. The most interesting fact of this tomb is that the tomb was constructed by her parents and the parishioners. She was a favorite one of the Britishers. And the tomb is really small, and you can see another poem written on the other side of this. Oh, not in cruelty, not in wrath of the reaper. Such a beautiful poem, right? So this church is located in a pleasant area. The cemetery is absolutely beautiful and quite peaceful. So you can see the main road from here and the hills nearby.